Hey everybody. First off, I want to thank Tide We for paying for the show. If you need a pair of boots, a pair of waders, a new backpack, some hunting rain gear, look them up. They got some good stuff. So yesterday, I hooked up with Rick. We were going to go hunting for about an hour or two in the morning.
Yep.
And the trouble with that is we kept seeing birds and kept going and going and going. And all of a sudden it was like 3 o'clock. And I had promised I'd be home early in the morning.
It came up quick.
You know, but I think Carol's got to be getting used to me by now.
Yeah.
You know, she was a little ticked. But so we're going to go head home, and we stop at the gas station. And we meet this guy, and he gives us permission to hunt. Yesterday we were chasing turkeys all day, and at the end of the day, we went to the gas station. And we're all covered in burrs and mud and stuff, and going through creeks and swamps and crawling after these things, and we're pumping gas, getting ready to go home, and I noticed that there's this older fella kind of watching us. He saunters over and he says, "What you guys hunting?" And I says, "Turkeys." And he says, "I got turkeys all over my property, harassing my horses, eating all my bird food. Get in your truck and follow me, I'll take you over there." So we come over here, and he shows us his ranch, and tells us where the turkeys are coming from, and here we are back this morning to rid him of this monstrous beast that's harassing his horses. So we got Rick shooting over here. He keeps hearing gobbles. I don't hear no gobbles, but he hears gobbles.
That's because he's deaf.
It might just be something he's hearing in his head. He's awfully excited. So we both got tags, so we could do a double or something, but I'd really like to see Rick get a bird. So we'll see if anything shows up. According to this guy, they come through here all the time. So we go to this guy's property, and we're planning on hunting morning just till about 7. Because he says every morning he sees the turkeys come through.
Right.
So I was thinking maybe we should stay till like 8, but I don't know, Carol was a little on fire, and Rick kept saying no.
I said, should we stay here till 7, 8? And he said 7.
Me. Do I look like a quitter? So we wanted to make it a short morning this morning, and the turkeys never showed up. So at about 7 o'clock, we decided it was time to go. We started packing stuff up, and while we were packing stuff up, we looked up and the turkeys were coming. So they came from the direction we thought they were going to come from. They didn't really spook, they just left. I think they're used to the guy that owns the place wandering around doing farm work with the horses and stuff. So they just kind of walked away. So I think we'll go back tomorrow now that we have more of a time frame, and we'll wait a little later.
Yep, that should do it.
Yeah. There was only one tom in the group, but it was a big tom. Looked really big next to the other birds. So
half a dozen hens.
Yeah, there's half a dozen hens. A lot of eyes to fool. So back at it tomorrow. So we get back here, and Rick's like, I gotta get home. I don't think he went home.
No, I took one, I was going to take one drive around, look around, and the same thing that happened yesterday happened today. I saw a tom up on a ridge, and I went after that one. By the time I got to that one, it was gone already. Then I drove back out, drove around a little bit, and I saw some birds where me and Dan had spotted them yesterday.
What's interesting is we've been hunting those birds like crazy.
Yes.
Those birds, and not just us, 50% of the time you see those birds, you go in to hunt them and there's somebody else hunting them and you back out.
Yes.
It's a small area, but it's been getting pounded, and these birds just staying off to the side, staying in open areas, and won't come near calling. As a matter of fact, we had one the other day that we called to and it just ran. I remember when we were in there the other day, we were walking around, and coming out, I said, you know what, where we see these things, this would be the way to kill them. They're used to hunters coming in, because where we were hunting, we found somebody else's setup right there.
Yeah.
A cushion there and all kinds of stuff.
Was right
And then there was a
against the tree.
chair up against a tree, and
Yeah.
so there had been some pressure there. And I think the birds, that was the obvious spot to hunt, figured out that that corner is bad. When we got the turkeys to come by us, they went in a loop around us.
Yes.
So, but going out of there, we saw that canal, and I said, man, this canal, if you just went up that ditch and up to the top behind that tree,
Yep.
and you're like, this is awesome.
It is.
I'm back at it without Dan. I just went after one. It's on top of a ridge that we've been hunting before. And by the time I got up there, it was gone. But I spotted another one out in this green field. And me and Dan spotted them in the same spot yesterday. We tried to set up here, but they were just out of range by the time they got to us. But we devised a plan if they were to take that same route again, where we should go. And that's where I'm planning on going.
Going up that ditch that we were talking about, I planned my way through the back of it, and so I got down into that ditch, and I started following that ditch up. I almost got busted. I mean, I was probably maybe 30 yards from the rise where it goes up from the ditch, and I could see the hen out there, and I just froze. So, and she didn't see me, so I just got down really low below the bank, so they didn't see me at all, and I crept up there and just set up on the bank, and I was just peeking up over the top.
Okay, took me a little bit, but I made it to this little creek area. He's about 80 yards out there from this edge. I'm gonna try to crawl up that little hill. If you can see him out there.
And I could see the two hens that, like yesterday, they were leading the pack, and as they came in, my watch goes off. It says your heart rate is above 120. It might be dangerous.
Well, that means you're enjoying the hunt.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really notice my heart like that. But anyways, they're coming in, and I saw that huge tom because he was black and his biggest fan.
Yeah, we saw him yesterday. There was two real big ones in that group.
That has to be the biggest turkey I've ever seen. And well, the two hens passed by, and the toms are coming in. They're about 15 yards away.
Apple Watch just told me I had a high heart rate. That's 120 or above. Better calm down. Today is the day Tommy boy is down. Still a hen out here.
Watching that footage, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why in the hell did he just shoot a Jake when there's a giant Tom within range? But what you're not seeing is his point of view. You're seeing the camera's point of view. And when we do this run and gun stuff in hunting, often we're crawling through the brush and the grass, and what we do is we extend that camera up in the air over our head, aiming down. So the camera's getting the shot on film. Because if we put the camera at eye level and we're crawling through that grass or sitting up against a tree piled around with grass, we're getting the film of the grass in front of us and it's focusing on the grass, and we're not getting a shot on film. From his eye level, he was just looking through a little hole in the grass, and he thought he had just shot that giant Tom. And literally, if he'd have just waited a couple more seconds, that Tom would have came in view. Take a look at the camera under his gun that's mounted to his barrel, and look at what that could see when he shot. That's just like 3 inches underneath his barrel.
Still a little green at this because I thought I was shooting a Tom, and the beard was below the grass, and I ended up getting a Jake. But it's still a legal bird. It's not what I wanted. My hopes were for a nice big Tom, but I did finally harvest. It was not fanning when I shot, so, but that's okay. Tom will come next year. It's been an exhausting couple seasons, going non-stop, but it's a good wrap-up. I'm really happy I got this bird. I thank Dan for showing me around. He taught me what to do. I seem to get birds when Dan is not with me, but he taught me everything I know.
And I saw the shot, the head was there, but the chest was kind of in the grass. Plus I was just peeking up over, and I thought for sure it was a big Tom. But I got the shot off, and it ended up being a Jake, but I'm happy with it. It's a legal bird here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and the season's just about over.
And the season's just about over.
Yeah, well, that's cool. And we got multiple tags this week. You don't, but I mean, I got a tag, and still got some tags to fill. So I mean, it's good to get a bird down. It's been a tough season.
Well, what, we've been going for like 10 days.
So yeah, and then a season or two before this too.
Eat that too.
But what strikes me is how much you've been hunting with me for turkeys. Me and you have been pounding for turkeys for 2 seasons now. And you've only hunted on your own about 3 times, and you've gotten 3 toms without me. So maybe I'm the bad luck.
I agree with you for once.
There you go.
He's telling me I'm the bad luck guy.
Turkeys just know when they see a petite little hottie like me
Oh my goodness.
that I'm probably your killer.
It was yesterday that led me to go up that ditch. So, and what we learned from yesterday, because they're easy to pattern.
So I'd be willing to bet that most people wouldn't even have a clue what we go through after turkeys. I mean, we come out of the woods covered in mud, goop, go washing machine shoes, full of water. I mean, every time. But the crap we go through. I mean, crawling through ditches and creeks and stuff, and it's a surprise we don't fry more equipment. But it's a blast. I mean, I love going after these things, and I think you're getting addicted to it too.
Oh yeah.
Well, great job, dude.
Thank you. I just think I'm still a little green. I wish I would have held out for the bigger birds in the back, but you know,
don't listen to anybody who gets on you about the size of the bird. It's the size of the hunt. Like you said, your heart rate went so up. You're so excited.
yeah.
You got your bird. No regrets.
Hell yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Great. I mean, that stuff happens. I mean, sometimes you're anticipating something and something smaller comes in. It just is what it is. I mean, everybody out there should be happy about everything they take. I mean, getting game, that's what we're out there for.
Yeah.
And when you get one, if it's not as big as you thought it was, who cares? That's some tough luck, Rick. But I got some words of wisdom for you. If you can't shoot the one you love the one you shoot.
Oh, it stinks, too.
I mean, I had 10 jumpers on my feet yesterday. For those of you that don't know what 10 jumpers is, I know Joe Rentmeester does. But if I have my feet in those hot boots full of water for too long, the toenails jump off in self-defense. And it happened on the Minnesota Buck Challenge.
Yeah. My wife told me the other day, all you got is turkey on the brain.
So wear less clothes, that'll change it.
The hottie. Let me tell you, no.
You know what's interesting is this thing is like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's got the fan just comes up a little higher in the back like a Jake, but not much. I mean, it's not as pronounced as what you usually see. It's a heavier bird than most Jakes. It's got a little bit of spurs, and it's got a pretty good beard length for a Jake. Kind of a weird bird. Might be a mutant. So the mutant gets the mutant. That's awesome, man.
You see what I got to put up with?
I put up with it too. It's just that I edit it out.
He does.